defensive effort was really key by the first moment that you had blocked or Crooks from behind. How much were y'all focusing on defense coming into the game, and did y'all feel something extra from that block?
Well, we like to focus on defense before offense. I mean, defense leads us to offense, so I wouldn't say that it was a focus, but it was really a focus. I say it gave us the energy, the momentum of who we know we are, and we just went out there and do what we had to do.
Here on this right side.
That stretch between the first quarter and the second quarter, you guys were pressing them defensively. They couldn't get back. They had no answer. Just what were you guys feeling in that moment, confidence-wise?
We felt like ourselves. I mean, just go out there, do what we had to do, play defense first, and the offense will come.
Anything else for Sania? Thank you, Feagin.
Don, same thing. In the defensive effort, you don't often see a 32-0 run with the other team that scored for 14 minutes. Just how much were y'all talking about that since UCLA, or was it just? I mean, I know you always liked the defense, but it just came together today.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I mean, we just needed to put a complete game together. Obviously, there were some lapses in the UCLA game that weren't characteristic of us. So we wanted to make sure that we played very, very similarly with our rotations and how we would guard. They're big. Obviously, you have to pay a lot of attention to her. It can't be just one player. It has to be positions, and then you have to position yourself to help if the ball got into it. You have to position yourself if you're not in front. So it is, all of these things that we executed from our 2 days of preparation, and then just from an offensive standpoint, if we could put together 40 minutes of what we did defensively, offensively, in the same game, I think we'd be feeling really good about ourselves, and we were consistent with it. But that is our, that is our nemesis, to be able to lock in on both sides of the ball, not have as many lapses or put them on the free throw line as much as we did.
Here on this side.
That third quarter, you guys start out, they weren't turning the ball over. You were obviously unhappy. But then after that, 7 of 8 from the field, what adjustments were made? What did you kind of see in, say, first half of the third quarter, second half of the third quarter?
Well, a lot of that had to do with our shot selection. And that period right after halftime is when we took a couple of ill-advised shots that jump-started their offense. They got easy buckets. They saw the ball go in. And when a team like Iowa State, they only need to see that ball go in. And then it gets bigger and bigger. So I think we just really had to clamp down. I think Malaysia got a steal for a layup that allowed us to just kind of excel and kind of get our equilibrium back to a place where we started to defend a little bit better, and we started taking, more calculating shots.
A little bit. What do you tell your team in those moments where it's like we're defending the same, but maybe they're not calling it the same, and how do you keep up that intensity?
Yeah, you got to make adjustments. I mean, we had to make adjustments. There was a stretch in the second quarter where, they called us for a couple of, touch fouls. We had to adjust. I mean, at halftime, we're like, this game is going to be called so much differently than even the second quarter. So, we took their hit, and we just tell them it actually starts on our offensive end. Like, if we could take expected shots, our defense can get set up and not have imbalance. Once we have imbalance, it's easier to score on us, and that happens from what type of shot that we take on the other end.
Now, Don, we had a state championship team here locally in the stands right by your bench. What's kind of the responsibility that you and your team feel when young girls come to watch you all play?
I mean, our responsibility is to, show them, be the example of how you need to take care of our game. Like, give it up. They should walk away from this game seeing us, knowing that, we didn't score a whole lot of points. There wasn't a whole lot of flash to what we were doing. It was fundamental basketball. Fundamental defensively. We tried to play fundamental offensively, and hopefully they can take what the little things that we were doing out there, the communication, the rotations, the camaraderie that we had playing out there on the floor, and know that it's fun. It's actually fun to play that way.
Feagin quarterbacked a lot of what you guys did on that 32-0 run. It's not going to show up in the stat sheet, but what did you kind of make of her decision making? That led to a lot of that.
It's a privilege to coach Powell. That's one. Two, when you have three pretty darn good point guards, like you really can't go wrong. Powell, Raven, now Maddie, they do a great job at picking up where the other one left off. Or if the other one is not having, that type of game, they can kind of see it and fill in for each other. But Powell, her defense was more impressive to me than her ability to facilitate. I've seen her facilitate before. I've never seen her pick up 94 feet time and time again. When we subbed out Raven, that's usually Raven's job to do that. But Powell made a concerted effort to do it in practice the last 2 days. That's one of the things. We got affirmations, and one of her affirmations was, I want to do a better job picking up the ball and pressuring the basketball. And when you're able to see it come to fruition, she's going to be a better basketball player. I know her stock went up from a WBA standpoint because of what she did today in picking that ball up.
David Wilmer?
Dawn, I believe that's Joyce Edwards' first career double-double. She had one in the exhibition, but this in the first real game. Just how much more comfortable did you see her, especially in the second half?
It was great. Like, this is the Joyce that we envision having, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer than we think it's going to take because she's so smart and she's able to compete at the highest level. But I hope she gains a lot of confidence from the way that we did it. She was really efficient. She rebounded the basketball. She was flying around. Her defense was pretty darn good. She put together a complete game, and I'm truly happy for her because the last couple of games haven't been the type of performances that are fitting for her.
One more on this side.
It was pretty clear throughout the game they were having trouble getting back in transition. I imagine that's something you guys really worked on the last 2 days in prep because when you got in transition, they were obviously lagging behind.
Well, we actually want to score a third of our points in transition because it just takes the pressure off what you have to do in the half court. There was an emphasis on our post players rim running, getting down the floor, putting yourself in a position to, maybe get an easy bucket or get down the floor and pancake somebody so we can get you the ball and either you score it or at least accumulate some fouls. And I thought we did that very early in the basketball game that helped us.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
Did you have one? Did you have one?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have a question?
Yeah, Joyce Edwards and Maddie, they're exciting to watch when they're on the floor together. I know you want them to play as sophomores by the time January hits, more than likely. Can you just talk about their development that you see the last couple games and where you see them when it really matters in SEC play?
They both are high intelligent players that work extremely hard. I want them to be. I want them to continue to progress as they are, like Maddie and Joyce have to play for us. Like they have to give minutes. We have to develop them. So by the time that they're sophomores or SEC, that it doesn't faze them. Like to play in these type of games, to play against a top 25 team, it's much better than to play against an opponent in which we would just probably win in the first half. Iowa State was always going to be in the game with their ability to shoot the three. We forced their hand and not allow them to get fluidly into their offense. And when you have that kind of disruption, it helps. And I think Joyce and both Maddie spearheaded that at different points of the game.
Thank you.
Thank you.